everybody, and welcome to Empowered Podcast. I'm Christina, and this is my partner Liliani. And today we are going to touch on, well, not just touch on, right? We're going to go pretty much in depth about lymphatic drainage. And I know you guys have heard about this. It's just really the buzzword when it comes, and it's always been significant in the health and aesthetic industry, but it's lately been the buzzword that a lot of plastic surgeons, cosmetic surgeons, physicians in general are emphasizing the importance of proper lymphatic drainage pre and post care because it's all part of the healing process. So we're going to do a deep dive. I'm going to emphasize more on the facial aspects, and what it does from the décolletage and shoulders up and how I incorporate that into my practice. You're going to go into the anatomy of it, right? And
anatomy,
full body.
the massage techniques and
different massage techniques. That's another thing. I can't wait till we get into that because there are so many different techniques.
All right. So, well, do you want to check in the week? How was it?
Check in the week. How was your week?
Actually, it was like pretty busy this week because I have been committed to cooking more at home. And my son loves the rice and beans. I finally found a way to make them right.
Rice and beans? What type of bean?
Just like regular pinto beans, but it's like the Brazilian way. Ooh. And my son used to love my mom's beans, and he would say that I didn't really know how to cook, so I made the point to learn, and now he's like, oh, now I can eat your beans. And so I have been like really focusing on healthy eating and having that happen. How about you?
Well, that's interesting because you came back from vacation on Brazil. Typically, so were you eating healthy in Brazil?
Oh, everything is handed to me. Yes.
Well, what does that mean? Healthy or not
healthy? Healthy,
healthy.
Healthy.
So it kind of inspired you.
Well, think about it. Like my mom makes the food.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm healthy conscious too because they have a lot of like cushions and all the appetizers and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
The cakes. It was my birthday, but coming back to I like the healthy eating, and in Brazil, sandwiches are not considered regular food.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
So there's like a snack and it's like an appetizer or it's fast food, right? Yeah. And it's not considered like a meal. A meal is like rice and beans or the pasta or the, your protein and your salad and vegetables. So
yeah. It's so funny because I rarely eat sandwiches. It's funny that you just bring up sandwiches not considered a food.
Yeah, like a meal.
Yeah,
like,
a meal. It's just like a little snack. Yeah. You have to add chips or some kind of salad, potato salad.
That's the American mentality.
Perhaps. But, good sandwich,
Oh, I love sandwiches.
Yeah. Well, I had a good week, being that Mother's Day is just around the corner. It's a busy time. People are coming in and just kind of getting ready for the holiday. I do not work on Mother's Day. I don't know about you.
No.
Got a lot of requests for that, but I had to shut that one down. I'll be celebrating Mother's Day with my daughter. But overall, it was a great week. I think any week's a good week if, my health is intact and things are flowing, and there's no stressors really happening. So, yeah.
That's good. All right, so let's get into lymphatic drainage.
Yes.
So the lymphatic system works as a detoxification, like a wasting cleansing. I would say think about a plumbing system in your body. You have the anatomy, all the vessels and the like a pathway, and then you have little vessels and larger vessels, medium size and larger vessels, and it help the body to cleanse the fluid in the body. So you have the circulatory system where the blood, keep oxygenating and nutrients, and it goes back with waste, and part of that blood on the capillaries level come out of the circulatory system and now becomes the lymph that is left in the interstitial fluid, tissue, and that lymph is collected by now this parallel system. In that system is think about the plumbing system, like they have a one direction that they flow, and then throughout the body They have lymph nodes like little cleansing stations. So it's very important that those lymph nodes are cleansed, not cleansed, but like empowered. I would say empowered.
Well, yes,
because
they're functioning properly.
You got it.
And in fact, let's just for a visual aid, actually, if you'll just put the picture of
the anatomy,
system,
the picture of the anatomy,
to show how we have lymph nodes all throughout the body, and
and then in the picture you would see like little nodes, and the lymph nodes. Everyone talk about it. It's responsible for fighting any pathogen, any cancer cells, and it's responsible for immunity and helping redirecting. So let's say you have like little vessels coming and they meet in the field in the node, and that node redirect into a larger vessel. So imagine that like a lot of little streets, and then the avenues and the freeway. Okay. And I use that analogy because, like, let's say you have a car accident, you now have to go around, right? So one of the things that we do manually with the lymphatic massage is that we reroute that fluid. So there's two ways of having a problem with your lymphatic system. One is when that system is broken. You had a surgery, you had radiation, you had a lymph node that was removed. So if you have a trauma that is now broke your pathway, your body will naturally have to reroute. A lot of times, especially you see that as an increase with cancer or people who had lymph nodes removed because of cancer or some other reasons, radiation. They have an accumulation of fluid that becomes a disease, which is the lymphedema. Yeah, I will talk about that later. Yeah. So then you have that like a mechanical problem. It just broke. You have to reroute. The body has to reroute.
Another visual aid that will help, speaking of, you mentioned an automobile car earlier, is the importance of, for instance, changing the oil in the car, but also the filter, which catches all the impurities in the oil. So you can change your oil on a regular basis, just like we change the fluid, right? We've taken but you have to also change the filter, because otherwise the filter is so clogged and congested that it's no longer going to catch the impurities in the oil. So
yeah, the problem is in the body you cannot change the lymph nodes. You have to help the lymph node to release the toxins.
But the filter, the nodes acts as a filter.
You got it.
That's what the node is, the filter. The lymph is what carries the toxins to the nodes, which then filters it out. Yeah. So that's a visual aid that will help.
So then when the nodes are congested with a lot of toxins or a lot of bacteria or a lot of virus, like when you're fighting a disease, when you're fighting a cold, you have large lymph nodes because the lymph nodes are processing, fighting, and it takes longer. So manually, you have ways to go and manually help that dissolve, decongest, right? You can have supplements, and we can have like the oils, and you can help with other alternatives to massage, yes, to increase that flow, to help decongest the lymph nodes. When you help decongest the lymph nodes, that flow, it helps with the flow. And then, like we said in another episode, if you don't have a healthy flow, it's like stagnating. Can you say that again? Like the
stagnant water? So another visual aid would be to consider any body of water. So I like to use the stream, because the stream essentially has free-flowing water. The water is clear. You've got life. You've got fish that are living in the water. You've got, basically it's free of mold, and
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just free-flowing. But then we have a windstorm, or we have debris that fall into this stream, branches, leaves, dirt. What happens is the life in that, it starts to die off, right? Because things start to coagulate. They create barriers, so there's no more free flow. And then you've got bacteria build up, and then nothing can live in that environment. So it's a similar situation that can happen in our systems, and so the importance of keeping that flow constant. Oxygen is important, and blood flow, and all of that.
Yeah. So then, so then that's one reason why you back up, because that system is broken, right? Another reason is a temporarily increase of the fluid. So let's say you had surgery. Surgery is a combination of two, like pregnancy, right? So when you're pregnant, you have, let's say, your baby's in the way of your lymph nodes, and you have a lot more fluid in the body because the body's bearing the baby. So you have an increase of fluid in your body, and the lymph nodes are not like squished. You know, your bladder and your intestines, like everything is like, squished. That it stopped the flow, the free flow. So a massage or any kind of manual movement would help with increase the flow, but that's a temporary problem, right? Because once she has the baby out and she's doing the healthy stuff again, and then the fluid went back to normal.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's like the any question about like the anatomy and the physiology?
No, I think that you explained that. We also did last week's episode on the implications of toxins. It was kind of went hand in hand. So you can also make sure you guys check out that episode as well, because detoxing and lymphatic drainage go hand in hand. So they're important, aspects of the whole internal system. Let's talk about techniques real quick, not in depth. I just wanted to convey to our listeners, because some people wrote in when we discussed that we were going to talk about this subject, about they received a lymphatic massage, full body massage, at one place, and then went to another place and got it, and it was completely different. One was extremely painful, and the other one, it was like so superficial. And so what is right, what is wrong? And so I want to go into depth about the different techniques and what they're designed to do. Now, mind you, how we met, Liliani and I, is that I reached out to her because I created a course on lymphatic drainage. And at that time, 3-4 years ago, I really knew nothing about it. So I sought her out, one of the best in Southern California, with her company Lymph. So this is what she specializes in. You have an expert before you guys.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned to me, I remember when our first meeting, the technique that you use is from Brazil. And it's slightly different than what we used in America at the time. Now I think we incorporate it all. But so if you'll just touch on the different techniques.
I like to make it like a simple explanation is that you have different techniques, and the Brazilian techniques combine the lymphatic drainage with the body contour.
Weight loss.
Not weight loss, because the non-massage can help can do any weight loss. It can help with elimination of the weight loss. So your body has to go through.
We're going to have to debate. We're going to have to touch on that a little bit. I want to go in depth on that.
Here's the thing: the massage will not do the weight loss. You have to do other things to have the weight loss. The massage will help the lymphatic system eliminate what is released from the weight loss.
Exactly. So it is part of the weight loss journey. My point.
But a lot of people go there because I want to lose weight. Well, you have to do your home care about nutrition and exercising.
Of course.
Because if you don't do only the massage, you will only eliminate fluids and toxins. That's the point. But mind you, it's like saying take this supplement to lose weight. It's not just the supplement that's going to help you lose weight. It's everything else. The combination.
But lymphatic drainage, and hear me when I say this, lymphatic drainage is an important factor in anybody's weight loss journey.
Yes.
So it is something that will increase the results of your weight loss journey.
Because it helps and enhances the elimination the decrease of inflammation that is related to that and the edema.
So now, in regards to that Brazilian,
so
is that hard, soft? How would you describe that terms?
So I would say the light lymphatic is based on I would say the European is more like the lighter massage, which is based on the Volder technique. The Volder technique is it emphasizes the superficial lymphatic system, which is like mainly on your skin. So you have like very light. I particularly don't like that, and I like those techniques for certain things. So if I have someone had a breast augmentation and the breast is like puffy, there's no skin, there's no movement, I can't go there deep. I have to go very light, start moving, helping with the inflammation, helping with the edema. I have to use the Volder technique for that. So there's a proper way of using those techniques. So you do lighter when you want to deal with a lot of inflammation, a lot of edema, post-surgery, like fresh post-surgery. Then you have deep lymph nodes and deep lymphatic system because you have it everywhere, right? And so you need to go deeper. Like I cannot just pump like this. I have to get in there and like impact that lymph node to squeeze and make it work, right? So muscles, like you have the layers of different muscles. If I don't go there and really work, and it's the process of creating more lymph is called microcirculation. So if I'm not there and creating more microcirculation, I'm not really emphasizing detoxing the muscle lymphatic system. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. So your technique is gonna not only vary depending on what you're wanting to address.
Exactly.
Is it going to vary when you move around different areas of the body?
Exactly. Like what is my goal here? And then let me add on. So the Brazilian body lymphatic drainage includes the body contouring. So you have the muscle, you have the fat, and you have the skin, right? So when you're just dealing with the whole body lymphatic system, you want to do kind of all the systems lymphatic, not just the superficial, right? And what we do also is that the fat cells hold a lot of toxins and fluid. When you are breaking that down, when you and there's the fascia that we talk, the fascia holds the fat. When that fascia is tight, it creates cellulite, the appearance of cellulite.
And also, let's use this opportunity. Axel, if you'll put the image so people understand myofascia, what it looks like. I like to describe that often as the cobwebs.
Yes.
The webs between, around the tissue, the ligaments, the bone, everything. And sometimes it gets congested and it gets bundled. So it's important to break that up.
Yes.
To get blood flow. And
when people talk about scar tissue, it's because those fibers, those fascia around the muscle and the fat, they get so tight, or they got micro tearing that creates fascia on top. So you now have a buildup of scar tissue.
Anyone who's had breast augmentation, if they've ever gone in post-procedure to their surgeon and they go in and they start to sometimes feel like a scar tissue form, they go in and they start to break up. It's so painful. Have you ever, you haven't had breast augmentation?
No, but we deal with that. People who wait too long to do the post-surgery massages, they usually experience that, not just for the breast, but everywhere, especially lipo. You know why lipo?
No, why lipo?
Because lipo, you have the cannula, right?
Yeah.
The cannula comes and poke and poke and poke. Like every poke is one tear.
Yeah.
Every tear now is building up scar tissue. Now you have a lot of scar tissue. And then if you don't do the massage, but they're fresh, they hard. And they get all twisted. And a lot of people come there I thought it would it's look ugly. Yes, so we can fix that, right? You can do that with massage. But going back to the Brazilian lymphatic, So what we do with the Brazilian lymphatic is that we focus on the lymphatic system, we stimulate the lymphatic system, then we treat the area. So we help with the reduction of edema and inflammation. We help with break down the scar tissue, the fascia around the cellulite. So it creates that smooth. So you help with the detoxification, not just the lymphatic system, but the fat tissue and the muscle tissue. So that way you slim them down, like it's no brainer, right? So that's the Brazilian lymphatic, and then you finish with the flushing.
Okay, all right. So how many different techniques are there in regards to lymphatic drainage? You referenced this one as the
Volar tech. Oh, there's so many. And here's what I would say. There's a combination of them. See, what I would like to say, there's the Volar techniques. There's my techniques. Like, how do I made up like some stuff that probably other people are doing. You know?
It's going to be based on the provider, the practitioner. It's going to incorporate different techniques as far as the order in which they do the techniques.
No, let me take it back, because the order the order is very important. So let's say, like, I have, like, think about it like analogy of a car in the freeway. If I have an accident in the car in the freeway and is backing up, I can't try to keep pushing here unless I free the freeway. So I need to make sure that the freeway is moving in the right direction, because before I send more cars to the freeway. So I can't, let's say I'm working on the side streets. I can work on the side streets if where the cars is flowing to the freeway and this freeway stopped. It's just not going to flow.
Okay, so let me rephrase that for you guys. So when it comes to lymphatic system, or whatever the issue is that you're addressing, you've got to get to the root of the problem first, right? Break up the root of the problem and then flush everything, right? Flush everything out.
Yeah.
So
let's say you have sinus, right?
I think we got it, but go ahead.
You have sinus in here. Your neck is tight. Your muscles are tight in here. The neck muscles are tight. If you don't release the muscle for the flow, and you don't work on the lymphatic system on your neck, you can keep working in here. They're gonna go and back up, go and come back.
Yeah, because you have to clear the filter, essentially. You have to clear and make sure that that's prepared to handle the toxins.
And that's where the Brazilian comes in.
Sorry, guys.
This is where, like, my thinking, the way I approach it as well. If you don't release the muscle tightness in the neck, which is the regular massage, which is like more tight, if you don't release that, how is that the lymph's gonna flow? It's tight. All the channels are tight. The lymphatic system is very thin, very thinner than the veins and the arteries. So you need to have that, like, relaxed to be able to flow. So that's why another thing like massages has to be relaxing too. Even though the cross, so that's the name of the technique, I would say, is the cross fiber technique, which it breaks up the fascia. Do you have other techniques that you use?
Well, so because I'm working, essentially, I'm not a licensed massage therapist, and understand in the state of California, you have to actually be a licensed massage therapist in order to perform full body.
No, unfortunately, no. So this is what I learned. It creates credibility for you to be certified, and for you to be part of the California Board of Certification, you have to have 500 hours of school.
Right.
Unfortunately, anybody can do massage. You have a lot of, and that's like a really big problem. I do trainings, right? I sell my training.
We're gonna have to, because I just looked this up, so we don't want to put bad information.
No, I'm confident, because
it's not a license, it's a certification.
It's a certification.
Right, it's a certification as a massage therapist. But for you, in order to do, like, for instance, my license is cosmetology. If I go and take one of your training courses, that does not provide me in the state of California the ability to do full body massage.
Unfortunately, you can. I wouldn't recommend, because, and I don't do the training if they don't have certification, and a lot of businesses do not hire if they don't have a California certified license. But unfortunately, and has been a problem in increasing a lot of people coming to me without any massage training, wanting to do body contouring. The fever of body contouring with the wood therapy, and it's crazy. Christina, I know what I'm talking about. You know why? Because I have been working on getting myself approved as an approved provider with the national board, and there's like a few things that it requires there. I'm not sure about other states about that, but so license is a different process than certification, and I'm saying to you, like, I investigated, I was upset about this, and I would tell people, do treatments with someone who's certified, not only a regular certification, but has a specialization in other things. But the truth is, anybody who wants to do massage, like you go to a nail salon, do you think they have like license to do that, certification to do that?
Yes.
They don't.
They have to in order to have an establishment license. So if you are a licensed cosmetologist or a licensed esthetician or a licensed, you have to work within that scope.
That's a license. Esthetician and cosmetologist is a license.
So you cannot in your establishment then go do body massages because you're working out of scope. You're now not under your establishment license or your license to as an esthetician or as a cosmetologist, whatnot. So it's a very tricky. So just to say that I can take a certification class for full body massage does not allow me in the state of California to do full body massage because I'm under the board of barbering and cosmetology.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, like if you have someone who do not have any license for cosmetology,
they're not governed by any board,
and they want to do, like, they want to bring you in and say, like, I'm going to do massage on you, there's no one that's going to say that person cannot do that. It's not illegal to do that.
How does the insurance company insure you then if you're not
I don't know if people can be insured.
You have. Okay, we'll save this for another.
I'm serious. Like, people who are doing, there's a lot of people who are doing under the table.
Oh yeah, sure.
Without certification, there's like I have a lot of people. So my approach to lymphatic massage is medical, includes post-surgery, includes body contouring, but it has a lot more the medical mentality behind the not just the body contouring. Okay, there is of course the body contouring is huge market. There's a lot of people just going for the body contouring,
right? And the
body contouring is a huge area that is a making money machine, and a lot of people are saying they're professionals because they get a certification, they learn online, and they're doing that, and they call me and they're like, oh, I want to learn. Yeah, there's so many things in there, like,
and that is, I mean, it's an important topic because as an educator, I have people constantly come to me because I certify people. I have an online aesthetic training academy, so I do in-person training as well as online. And of course, it's worldwide, so I always have to say you need to check with your laws, your governing boards. Certifications don't necessarily give you the license to perform even body contouring. Anything that changes internally the structure of the anatomy or the different layers of tissue is something that requires a governing board. So it's important for you guys, if this is something that you want to get into, that you, depending on where you are, what your county is, what your state is, your country.
I would be more concerned about the consumer. Like, if you're going to consume, especially post-surgery, that you do some research and find out who is that practitioner, how long they have experience, how long they have been in business for massage, that previously, that is not just lymphatic, that they have the knowledge and they have the certification.
Yeah.
I would like, for your own safety.
Oh, for sure. Because and typically, like, do you your practice, do you guys accept insurance? Is that something that's covered? Or
No, we
Okay.
give super bill. If people have insurance to pay for it, they get the reimbursement.
Oh, okay, very
Okay.
good, very good. So we talked a little bit about different technique, and there's
Mhm.
one more for fat loss, body contouring. It's a little
Mhm.
bit more heavy-handed, right?
Mhm.
You're getting down in there. And then we have more of lymphatic drainage where it can be superficial. That's what I tend to use when I'm incorporating in the facial routine or something that I'm doing from the neck up. And when I do that, I incorporate, first we talked about the order of things, which
The sequence.
It's significant when it comes to this because, for instance, if we're talking about more superficial fluid, that's between the top layers of tissue, things that cause the puffiness, we have to go in and break up the myofascial release.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. I do that full face, full neck, décolletage area, even get into this area and break that up. And I can actually feel it binded under the skin. I'm often very zoned. People try to talk to me during this part of treatment, and I have I count. Everything is in motion and consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm counting. I can't do two things. And I'm focusing because I'm visually kind of seeing what's happening underneath with,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So I release all that, and that's when I get in and people are, wow, I can breathe. I can,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, oh my God, felt like I had lockjaw. Now it's all moved. And I can literally, and this is not an exaggeration, I can successfully resculpt somebody's face,
Mm-hmm.
depuff it, and all of a sudden things look more sculpted. They love it. It's the way I end most every type of treatment. Because it's so important,
Yeah.
especially if I'm flushing toxins or I'm doing red light therapy or cupping. It's something like that's so important afterwards. So combining that, and
So let me tell you all the techniques that people can do at home and we use there at the office is the gua sha. Do you use gua sha?
I use my hands. I don't use any tools. Tools
Okay.
are great, but I can do more with my hands. For home use, tools are fine because sometimes it's hard to get certain areas, with the angle of your arms. But if you have tools,
Yeah, I would be careful at home too because you can also hurt yourself. But the gua sha is like escaping, which is to help to break up scar tissue.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do the cupping. You mentioned that you like doing the cupping as well.
Mm-hmm.
The cupping, there's like a different ways of using cupping. The way we do is with massage. So you like moving them around to break up fascia. And then we also have like a suction machine that helps like moving the fluid very light.
Slide cupping.
Like cupping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a suction machine. So
Mm-hmm.
it moves, it's used for the
Right.
fluid moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the wood therapy. I personally think it's too invasive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in pain for post-surgery or for body contouring or post-surgery. I believe in it will be uncomfortable because you're tearing down the fascia and the body is receiving as a tearing down, but it doesn't have to be aggressive.
So there's case studies that are out there for any type of device or tool that makes the claim of minimizing the appearance of cellulite.
Mm-hmm.
And wood therapy is like right up there in the case studies, as are electric devices that are like kneading the skin where it's very uncomfortable. And yeah, the case studies do show a reduction of like the appearance of cellulite in their subject. But basically when you break it down, what it's doing is, so cellulite is basically small molecule fat that rests, it gets trapped against the fascia and against the skin. But so doing all that kneading is like, it's like when you tenderize meat, the fat on meat, it's still there. I mean, some of it liquefies, but it's still there. You just kind of press it down. So they're taking the small molecule fat and it's being pushed deeper into the body. It's still there, but it's deeper into the body, so it gives that smoother appearance. So yeah, there's impacts of
There's
these
another
types of things,
impact Do you have another impact?
Well, no, I want to make sure I get back to, because I was going to go through how the myofascial and the lymphatic for the face, the benefits of it. So
Let me back my against wood therapy. Another impact is the breakout the vascular system, the little veins, they're internal. Because when you're so aggressive in tenderizing the fat, you also breaking down little vascular system in the muscle and the tissue in general. So there's ways that you can actually help with the detoxification of the cellular content, the fat cell content. Break down that fascia without having to beat the person
Oh yeah,
up.
no, and I agree with you. In fact, there are many times I've had full body massage where I had that happen.
And you have hematomas.
Because it's too much pressure. That's why a good massage therapist or somebody that performs lymphatic drainage, knowing the right hand pressure, because everybody has different sensitivity, everyone has different blood, the blood thing.
Yeah.
So if somebody of an elderly person, you're not going to use the same type of pressure with a device or even with your hand.
People with a lot of fat, they have a tendency to have a lot more inflammation, edema, have a lot more vascular system that will create more hematoma. Someone who's lean, that have a stronger muscle, it's like you have to have someone that when you have a protectioner on you, especially like the face, right? Anyway, so it's very important to know who you're going to do your massage.
Yeah, for sure. And then for that provider to understand the client, the person, the patient, and what's happening internally with them as well. So let's just kind of backtrack a little bit and go back to the face. And as far as everything that is why lymphatic drainage, the benefits that you can reap from undergoing a lymphatic drainage massage. So it reduces swelling and puffiness, okay? And in the face, and it does that by promoting the movement, obviously, of the lymphatic fluid, okay? And so many people will have more of a collection of that in the morning sometimes, especially around the eyes, if they're having sinus issues, people with allergies really, really benefit from lymphatic drainage. Also, we improves the radiance of the skin because increasing of the oxygen levels and the blood flow. And then it also reduces the dullness. And all of this is because it increases the delivery of the oxygen and blood to the cells. It also helps to detoxify. So we carry toxins. Remember, toxins are also released when we have elevated levels of stress, which is often carried in our head, our scalp. So we see often the first place that we see an indicator of high levels of stress in the face. So it will help detoxify the skin. It prevents the signs of aging, and it boosts collagen, because through that type of massage technique, we stimulate a type of collagen induction, which stimulates the fibroblasts. And fibroblasts is what ignites collagen, the production of collagen.
And let me add on, just pause on there. Remember you said about the life of the river? Like when you have those toxins clear, there's life in the skin, right? So that's why it's very important to do that.
Yes. And also, case studies also show that it can actually lessen the appearance of dark circles under the eye. And I think it's going to vary depending on why we're seeing dark circles. If it's very thin skin, and of course we know it helps with puffiness, because puffiness is often, it could be either the fatty pad, but it can often be just a collection of lymph fluid that's collected under the eye. So, and all this is done with increasing blood circulation. And then many people who offer this, I think it's also safe to say for body, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm kind of speaking out of my...
No, I think everything that you say is true for the whole body as well.
No, but in regards to, people often refer to this, it's like a key phrase, as non-surgical facelift lymphatic drainage. That is because people are seeing what it does. And I'm speaking from personal and professional experience that I can. I have actually seen it not only just from the time I start to the time I finish, but over time. I see, tightening, depuffing, lifting, increase of radiance, even a decrease in the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, all because they're getting proper blood flow and oxygen to the cells.
One very impactful area that you can easily resolve with lymphatic and gua sha is the contour of the chin.
Yeah.
A lot of people go for a little liposuction, but you could just release this with like your hand massage, and they're so effective.
Yeah. No, I've visually seen that. So I will get in a ring with anybody who says on the contrary that it doesn't, because I've seen it happen. Yep. I have a portfolio full of photos that you see a difference, and it's all just based on, and that's why I like to use my hands.
Yes, I think the problem is that it's not a quick fix. You have to maintain and keep consistency.
It's a therapy.
Yeah.
It's for sure therapy.
You got to do a treatment.
Yeah.
And you can go and just like take the fat out, but it will not resolve, because then sometimes I see people took some of the fat, but then now it's wavy. It's not smooth.
I see that a lot when people have lipo suction done on their abdomen, their stomach area. And I can tell when someone's had it done, especially if I'm going in and I'm doing a cupping or a procedure to break up, not only, but because they go in blindly and they remove fat cells. And remember, when you're an adolescent, you're pretty much born with all the fat cells you're ever going to have. You're not going to accumulate more. So when fat cells are removed, they're removed forever. But what happens is the surrounding fat cells that were left in place will expand. And so they have all these indentations, and they have bad flow. And so going in there and just trying to break that up and you do that. You said
that's why we do the body contouring, because you break up the fascia. That you break up, you smooth the fascia, you break down and you smooth the fat, so it have a nice smooth appearance.
It's like getting in there with your tenderizer and tenderizing that meat. It tastes so much better, it looks so much better.
Well, we'll talk about this in another episode, but you can also use the cavitation to help with the melting of the fat and soften the tissue to help with the body contouring.
Yeah, we'll cover our favorite non-invasive techniques in I think maybe our next episode, about all there's an abundance of different procedures out there, and people get very confused as to what does what. A lot of misstatements also being made out there that are simply just not true,
One thing that I like to tell people is that after a massage, I have people that leaves and say like, oh, let me see how I feel. The number one thing you should feel is lighter. You feel lighter. I have that's what I wanted to say. Like, you go get a massage and you leave that light, you feel like lighter. You feel like there's sometimes people also say more energy, because now your body's kind of flowing, like moving. You can feel moving, but you feel lighter.
And I think it's like a psychological aspect to the whole experience, because you are relaxing during that time and you're unstressing, and so everything just I think
it's when you're in this stress, your body is in the fighting. It's like fighting mode. Nothing's leaving because I might need that resource. So then when I'm calming, everything is going. That's why a lot of people need to go to rest right away. One, because you're moving the flow, and two, because your now body's releasing all the toxins.
So we're at about 44 minutes, and I want to turn this over to you, because this is your specialty. This is what you do. This is what you educate others in. So for the person who's heard about lymphatic drainage, but really, did we leave anything out? Is there anything else that you can convey to them to where they really understand the importance of lymphatic drainage, how beneficial it can be to their overall health, and that's mental and physical, to their anti-aging regimens, to cell, increasing cell health, increasing DNA health, all of that. Is there anything else that you can
I think that we cover like how it works and the importance of it. I would say this.
How often?
Exactly. Like I joke this with like, how often do you need to take a shower to feel cleansed? Like every day, right?
Or work out in the gym.
Or work out. Like so you can go and do once in a while, but the consistency, it will create that health flow. So, and I would say that there's two type of client. There's the client who are dealing with some traumatic event or some like unusual pregnancy, postpartum. They're going through a surgery. There's like some kind of situation. They were going through weight loss. There's a lot of people now going through the weight loss because of the semaglutide that they're coming. And so then you are like, your lymphatic system is overwhelmed. So we're helping. And then you have the healthy people who are maintaining, the ones who are already healthy, already exercising, already doing the nutrition, and then the lymphatic can help maintain. It's like another enhancement in that regimen. And then one more thing I want to and then I want to move those people who are like this, dealing with that more often, so we get that flowing and get them into maintenance level, right? Maintenance. Yeah. Even like post-surgery, you go from like releasing the inflammation and the healing process towards body contour, especially people post-surgery for cosmetic liposuction, any type of tummy tuck.
Prenatal, what about prenatal?
Oh, prenatal, like the prenatal helping to deal with the increase of fluid. And then the postpartum, that's like so important. If people talk about it like baby fat, there's no baby fat. It's baby fluid. You went through like burying this baby for 9 months, the body's retaining all this fluid, and then you go through delivery. A lot of us the majority of us don't go totally natural. You get epidural, you get anesthesia, you get whatever, and then...
I delivered my own babies.
You did?
Yeah, I just...
Oh, silly. For a moment you got me. But so then like you want to have the organs going back and like the whole scar tissue, there's a lot of scar in there. If you treat that, oh God, and like the whole hormonal imbalance that is going after the baby's out,
Yeah. What about elderly people? People that are suffering. I remember when I was doing my internship at Kaiser, and they were coming in having to get the compression socks, to help with the swelling and
let me address that, because a lot of people have lymphedema, and a lot of people just have regular edema. The regular edema can be also caused by vascular circulatory system, which is like the vascular veins.
Okay.
So the blood pressure is not optimum, so the blood is not coming back.
Okay.
So you have a swelling of the legs.
Okay.
But that's because of the vascular system. It eventually can become a problem with lymphatic system as well. And then you have the regular edema, like you twist your ankle, the body will move. You're pregnant, so you're retaining water. And then that's the regular edema. So a regular edema is that you have accumulation of fluid that your body cannot transport fast enough.
Okay.
So it needs time. And manually, the compression will help with the flow. So especially like the elderly you're mentioning, the massage can help with like increasing that flow so it doesn't have the heavy fatigue legs. And so that covers the elderly problem that it's probably like what you mentioned, if they need the compression. And then you also have the people who had lymph nodes removed, especially around because of breast cancer or breast problems, or the inguinal area from like, I had a gentleman with like a radiation problem that he had lymphedema on the leg. Lymphedema, it's, you have an accumulation of fluid, but it's rich in protein. So high molecules of protein didn't get to be removed with the normal way of the wasting being removed. So those high molecules of proteins are trapped. when they're trapped, what is that protein does? Think about beings. They water. You move the water out, because that molecule is not moving out of the body or the area. So that's why a lot of people with lymphedema, if they get in a stage 2 or higher, they have to manage now. It's not like
it's just an ongoing
competitive
therapy that's.
And if they manage, they can have very healthy, unfortunately, larger member, like one side larger than the other. But they can manage and be healthy.
Yeah.
If it goes unattended, that is a big, big problem.
Major problems.
Because then unattended, remember when the river doesn't flow, it gets stale, and it has a lot of bacteria and the unhealthiness and.
And I think that is the takeaway that we need to emphasize, is that lymphatic system and lymphatic drainage can not only serve just for overall health and well-being, it's a preventative measure to health issues that can essentially be life-threatening.
Yes.
So I think that is something just like getting oxygen and blood pumped to the heart can help, combat heart disease and eating well. This lymphatic drainage just has so many valuable benefits to it, overall health. I know we're going to cover this like non-invasive procedures favorite, but I'm telling you as a professional, lymphatic drainage and lead light therapy, red light and infrared, 2 of my favorite go-tos for everything, and they often go hand in hand, but so I think the takeaway is utilizing this for anti-aging benefits, right? To address issues that we're facing at the time, but also a preventative measure.
I would say like anything that is stagnant will have a problem. So if you're not moving, start moving. For whatever reason, you're just start moving. Whatever you can do to move your lymphatic system, to move your flow. So
let's talk. We're gonna close this episode with our last segment. We're gonna talk, have an affirmation. I think
before you do that, let me just mention that we do have the teas, right? And in the other episode we talk about detoxing all this stuff. I do want to point it out that we have edema oil to help with the edema relief. It is the main ingredient is cleavers. So cleavers helps with the lymphatic flow, the decongest.
How does one incorporate this into their daily regimen, weekly regimen?
So whatever area that you experience more lymphatic edema, more retention of fluid, especially let's say this is a very common one, around the breast area and the arm. So you can use the oil. You start stimulating. So you kind of pump. Imagine those little lymph nodes, a little sponge pumping. And then you give some time. I like what you talk about, you have the movement and the timing, because give it a time.
My time is just FYI is 30 seconds.
Well, give some time.
No, but I mean, I work every area 30 strokes, 30 seconds.
Okay.
That's why I'm counting.
Yeah. So the main thing I would say around the breast area, I would say around and then the arm.
Is it safe for the face?
Yes.
What about for under eye? Yes.
Especially sinus and behind the ear and the neck, you can use that. Another common area there is a lot of congestion is the thighs, around the knees and the thighs.
And women, if you want, often people, it's interesting. I don't want to run too long on this episode, but women often mistake poor circulation in their tissue on their thighs for cellulite. And you have no idea the benefits of a lymphatic drainage massage, how it's going to improve the tone and the look of the thigh area, because everything's congested.
We gotta do an episode on cellulite, because I have one oil that has cleavers and has also some other ingredients like guarana that helps with the cellulite itself. So it helps with the fat and the edema and the lymphatic together.
Yeah.
But this is like a really good for people with lymphedema, people with pregnancy, water retention, anything that is congestion. Mammogram, like people who are going to mammogram and they found like they're kind of swollen, but there's nothing. It's just congestion. This is amazing.
Okay. And this will be featured on our storefront, which is empoweredpodcast.org. It's where we feature any of the products that we talk about in our episodes and that we have tried them, we find them true, and we find them to the point where we want to share them with you.
Reliable.
Thank you for that.
Reliable.
So, all right. So, is there anything else that you wanted to, as far as
That's
products?
it. You can go with your affirmation.
So, my affirmation is abundance is my birthright.
That's awesome.
Is that a good one, guys?
Yes, I like
Abundance is my birthright. What is your affirmation? Do you have one? Maybe you didn't.
I didn't plan for the affirmation, but I planned for my quote. You want to get
your what?
Quote?
Oh, quote.
You want to hear my quote?
Let's hear your
quote. And Axel, would you please put it in there so people can read along my English accent? Healing works through a kind of detox. Things have got to come up in order to be released. That is true of our personal issues and also our collective issues. We can't just push the darkness down, pour pink paint over it, and then pretend it's not there. We have to look at it, accept that it exists, and then release it for healing.
Amen.
This is from Marianne Williamson, right?
I had to put an amen on there because anytime there's a quote or a life philosophy where it really hits home, where it's like changing, I think all good things come from God. So I always have.
And remember, there's no right and there's no wrong. There's what works for us, right?
Yeah, say it again. No right.
There's no right and there's no wrong. There's what works. And with that, thank you. I appreciate you're subscribing, you're supporting us. We're loving this podcast and we're having fun. I hope you're having as much fun as we are. And we're educating you. Please engage with us, make some comments, subscribe, share with your neighbor, with your friend, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.